You have to learn how to be alone first so that a companion is just an option, not a necessity. Kung sakaling single mom ka, these are the situations and the things that you have to think about for you to know na ready ka nang magmahal. So number one reason is hindi ka natakot maging malungkot. Kung sakaling hindi ka takot maging malungkot, this is a very great indication na ready ka nang magmahal. Lalo na sa mga single mom. For example, you put yourself in a situation where you have a kid and the father of the kid, somehow, the very person that you expected to protect you, to love you, to be there with you, is not anymore there. In that situation, that feeling can really make you become lonely. Nakakatakot yun in a sense na that place, a very lonely place. And most people are scared to be in that situation that they do everything that they can to get away with it, even if the way is wrong. Kahit na mali yung paraan para hindi sila maging malungkot, which is being with the person that they don't really love, being with the person that really doesn't appreciate them, na nagsistick sila doon sa tao na yon kahit na alam naman nilang hindi din sila mahal ng tao at hindi din binibigay yung deserve nila bilang isang babae, bilang isang single mom, but they stay. They can say yes that they love the person, pero one of the reasons is because they are scared being alone. Now, kung sakaling ikaw man yung babaeng kaya mong mag-isa at hindi ka takot mag-isa at hindi mo ginagawa everything that you can just for you to avoid the feeling of being lonely, I think as a single mother, as a woman, as a man, kung sakaling nakikinig ka din, this also applies to you. This is really a good opportunity for you to know, and I'm gonna let you know right now, that yes, my friend, ready ka nang magmahal. Yon, ready ka nang magmahal bilang isang tao, bilang isang babae, bilang isang lalaki, at lalong-lalo na bilang isang single mom. Kasi kung sakaling hindi ka takot maging malungkot, you have an emotional maturity to handle things accordingly. Ibig sabihin nun, kayang-kaya mo na to face the challenges in that you're able to outgrow the need of being with someone just for you to avoid the feeling of being alone, of being lonely. And kudos to you kung sakaling nagagawa mo yan, because there's a lot of people that I know who seem as if they are strong on the outside, pero takot sila maging malungkot. Kung sakaling takot silang maging malungkot, gumagawa sila ng paraan para maiwasan yun. And it's okay not to be okay sometimes. I always preach to pursue happiness. I always preach, do the things that makes you happy as long as wala kang natatapakang tao. Pero in order for you to really appreciate happiness, in order for you to really go out there and savor every moment of happiness, you have to know how to handle sadness. You have to go through sadness as well. So yung sadness na yon lets you appreciate the good things that's happening in your life. Usually, most people tends to disregard this emotion of being sad. Acknowledge it, pero do not succumb to it. Do not dwell onto it. In a sense, hindi ko sinasabi na pag hindi ka takot malungkot, ibig sabihin wala ka nang ginagawa para ayusin yung sarili mo. If you are not scared of being lonely, hindi maging malungkot, this is an emotional maturity that everybody needs to know. And that once you're able to get that, understand that, my friend, I think you really, really deserve to be with someone that you love. Ready ka nang magmahal. Number 2, you are okay being alone for a while. Yon. Konektado to sa number 1. Kung hindi ka natakot maging malungkot, ibig sabihin, okay ka nang mag-isa. Kasi isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit hindi nagiging malungkot ang isang tao, naghahanap sila ng kasama kahit hindi naman talaga nila mahal. Kung sakaling ayos lang sa'yo maging mag-isa in a sense na wala ka talagang significant others, wala kang partner, at kung sakaling binibigay mo yung lahat ng atensyon doon sa mga taong nakapalibot sa'yo, such as your kid, such as the family that surrounds you, the friends, in that somehow hindi mo kailangan ng isang taong magsasabi sa yung mahal ka nila, which is the significant others, which is yung boyfriend mo, yung jowa mo. This is also a great sign na ready ka nang magmahal ulit bilang isang single mom. If you are capable of being alone for a while, hindi ka nagmamadaling maghanap ng kasama, ibig sabihin nun, meron ka nang nabubuong pagmamahal sa sarili mo at meron ka ng morality in a sense that you don't find validation to others for you to say that you're enough. Kung kaya mo nang mag-isa for a while, in a sense, sabihin na natin hindi ka naghahanap ng jowa. Kasi minsan ganun nangyayari. After a breakup, people would tend to jump in one relationship to the other. They're not allowing themselves to heal kasi nga hindi nila kayang mag-isa. Kasi hindi nila kaya yung pakiramdam na maging malungkot. So, ibig sabihin nun, meron pa silang huge hole inside of them that they want someone to fill in. Now, kung sakaling isa ka man sa taong ganon, that becomes a cycle. Kasi kung sakaling yung tao na minahal mo, hindi mo naman talaga siya mahal, kailangan mo lang siya pero hindi hindi mo siya mahal. Kaya ka lang nandyan, kaya lang siya nandyan, kaya mo lang siya tinanggap at kaya ka lang umoo doon sa isang relasyon kahit hindi mo naman talaga gusto kasi hindi mo kayang mag-isa. Hindi mo kayang isipin na yung ex mo pala, you're trying to get over that ex of yours. Pero somehow ikaw bilang isang tao, you compensate by finding someone new. Kung sakaling ikaw man yung tao na to, you are okay being alone for a while. You're capable of being the person that somehow allows you to become a better individual in a sense. Ayos lang sa'yo mag-isa, then good job ka. Isa kang tao na dapat pamarisan. So you are okay being alone for a while. This is something that most people wants to have. Pero not everybody has the capacity to execute. Kasi nga, mahirap mag-isa. You have to learn how to be alone first so that a companion is just an option, not a necessity. And kung sakaling kaya mo na to, ibig sabihin nun, ready ka nang magmahal ulit. At kung sakaling hindi man ikaw yung taong ito ngayon, at least alam mo na, you have to have self-development and that self-development is the capacity to learn how to be alone and be comfortable on loneliness for quite some time. That somehow, isa ka sa mga tao na dapat or pwede nang magmahal. Lalo na kung sakaling single mom ka. Iniisip ng mga single mom na iba pa rin ang pakiramdam na may kasama kang mag-raise ng anak mo, diba? Katuwang, tulad nga ng sinabi nila. There's nothing wrong thinking about that. Pero most of the time kasi, as much as you want it, being a single mom has their own advantages and disadvantages. And one of the disadvantage is that you tend to become a person super takot ng magkamali ulit. That you want that next person to be the person that you tend to parang force things so much, diba? You don't let it grow naturally. Kasi gusto mo nang may kasama, gusto mo nang meron kang katuwang na magpapalaki doon sa anak mo. And what happens with that is when that situation occurs, well, nahihirapan ka talaga na piliin or nahihirapan yung tao na yon na mag-adjust doon sa mga gusto mo. Kasi so ikaw mismo, bilang isang single mom, should develop that strength to be comfortable being alone. Okay, number 3. You have learned what your last relationship was supposed to teach you. This is something that most people really not take into consideration, yung mga lessons na natutunan natin from previous relationship. Lalo na kung sakali single mom ka, relationship in a sense na maybe the father of the kid. Kung sakaling natuto ka na doon sa mga mali mong nagawa, mali niyang nagawa, or doon sa mga situations that you guys had conflict, this is a great indication that you are really ready to love as a single mom. And I want you to know that learning doesn't just apply here. Yung learnings dapat ini-execute mo yon. Knowledge is not power. Executing what you know is where the power lies. And kung sakaling sinabi mo, yes, natuto na po ako, Kuya Darbs, iba kasi yung natuto na na-realize mo lang versus natuto na in-apply mo mismo kung ano yung realizations mo. Kasi sa totoo lang, maraming tao alam kung anong dapat gawin, lalo na sa relationship, lalo na sa mga taong sinasaktan sila at iniiwan sila. Pero not everybody has the strength to execute on the learnings that they found out, on the realizations that they have. Kung sakaling ikaw bilang isang single mom or ikaw bilang isang babae or bilang isang lalaki na nanonood ngayon, I want you to know that if ever you're someone who have learned what your last relationship was supposed to teach you, that is to be patient, siguro, that is to be more understanding, that is never to trust easily, pwede din yun, that is prioritize yourself din kahit papano because you have always been giving this person the priority aside from you, and that siguro minsan dapat nagsispend ka din ng time sa kids mo, hindi lang doon sa significant others mo. Those are the realizations that it's not supposed to be just learning and realizations. Dapat ina-apply mo yan, dapat ini-execute mo yan. At kung sakaling isa ka sa mga taong nakaka-execute nun, very good to know and very happy to inform you, yes, ikaw na nanonood dyan ngayon, ready ka nang magmahal. Number 4 is your happiness doesn't depend on what your ex is doing or how much they have moved on his life. Yan, grabe. Minsan kasi ganun na nangyayari. Hindi lang para sa mga single mom, but for those people who just recently have a breakup. Kala natin ready na tayo sa relationship kasi sinaktan niya ako. Tapos yung sakit na ginawa niya sa akin, this gives me the right to find the right man for me right away kasi sinaktan niya ako ng sobra-sobra. To be honest with you, sorry to disappoint, pero hindi mo dapat binabase yon sa kung anong actions ng iba because everybody has their own ways of healing. And if ever, kung dinidepende mo, yung kaligayahan mo, depende sa kung ano yung ginagawa ng ex mo. Kasi for example, kung yung ex mo hindi masyadong masaya, so magiging masaya ka kasi you're doing better than him. I mean, that is something that you should really try to look into kasi hindi ka pa talaga fully recovered. You as an individual should be happy on someone's happiness. Kung sakaling you're laughing at someone's demise, you're laughing or you're rejoicing kasi yung isang tao na sinakan ka nahihirapan, this is something that you should really be thinking quite seriously kasi hindi ibig sabihin nun nun na totoong kaligayahan yan. That is rooted into insecurity in a sense. Now, although sinaktan ka ng tao na yun, pero dapat mong isipin at intindihin that your happiness should not be connected to other people, lalo na doon sa mga taong nanakit sa'yo or lalo na yung mga taong minahal mo dati. So, kung sakaling ikaw yung taong naging masaya ka on your own, ibig sabihin, ready ka nang magmahal. Last but not the least, hindi ka na naghahanap ng tao para kumpletuhin ka. Your completeness should not be given to you by anybody. Your completeness as an individual, your completeness in your happiness, in your individuality, ang pagkababae mo bilang isang single mom should be given by yourself to you. Hindi mo dapat hinahanap yun sa ibang tao. Hindi porket single mom ka, ibig sabihin kulang ka. And that is the reason as to why most people tends to do ungodly amounts of sacrifices which is not supposed to be done just because they think that this person that is giving them the love they think they want, dapat nilang makuha yun kasi yung tao lang na yun ang makakapagkumpleto sa kanila. Not just single moms but people in general, na hindi mo dapat hinahanap yung taong kukumpleto sa'yo. Kung sakaling ikaw yung taong alam, hindi ka dapat naghahanap ng tao para kumpletuhin ka kasi alam mo bilang isang babae, bilang isang single mom, na responsibilidad mong kumpletuhin yung sarili mo bago ka magkaroon ng partner. That is a really next level emotional maturity. Inaasa natin ang ating pagiging kompleto sa ibang tao. And what happens is that we tend to do things that we're not supposed to be doing just because this person could be the person that is completing me. Parang our hands are tied. Wala akong magawa, Kuya Darbs, kasi mahal ko eh. Is it really love? Or is it because you just don't trust yourself enough to know that with or without this person, you're complete? Or with or without this person, you cannot admit na hindi ka kompleto. So, I want you to take the journey. So, sinabi ko kanina, di ba, hindi ka dapat matakot maging malungkot and that you are okay being alone. In this journey, dapat na ni-develop mo tong ganitong klaseng realization. At somehow, bilang isang single mom, malalaman mo at maiintindihan mo bilang isang tao, bilang isang babae, na ikaw mismo ang kukumpleto sa sarili mo. My message to those single moms who's watching and listening right now, I want you to know na I appreciate you very much kasi mahirap ang mapunta sa ganitong klaseng sitwasyon. Mahirap kung sakaling isa ka man sa mga taong gusto lang naman umibig at nagtiwala. At out of every people that can be hurt, bakit ikaw pa na nagmamahal lang naman ng totoo? Bakit ikaw pa na gusto ko lang naman magkaroon ng kumpletong pamilya? Know that whatever pain you were able to go through, hindi ibig sabihin na damage ka na. Hindi ibig sabihin that you're someone that should have least priority when it comes to being with the right person. Kasi your kids are a blessing to you. I don't think your life will be as complete as they are right now if it weren't for those blessings. So that's number one. Number two is that ikaw mismo bilang isang single mother, tumatayo ka na din bilang tatay doon sa mga anak mo. Ay, alam ko yan. And that the responsibility of you right now doing those things is very commendable. At kung sakaling iniisip mo na wala kang karapatang magmahal, I mean, that's something that you should really change your perspective into. Ito na, sinasabi ko na. Yung mga bagay na dapat mong malaman para malaman mo na ready ka na magmahal. This time, you have to know and learn to love yourself first. Bago mo mahalin yung ibang tao, dapat alam mo muna kung paano mahalin yung sarili mo, paano mo buuin yung ikaw bago yung iba. Kasi kahit na hindi man dumating yung taong inaantay mo sa tingin mong kukompleto sa'yo, nandyan ka pa rin, may pamilya ka pa rin. Meron ka pa rin mga anak na magpapasaya sa'yo at meron ka pa rin mga anak na papasayahin mo. And never think as if you are incomplete because there's a lot of people right who was not even given a chance to have a kid, who wants to have a kid but they can't have one. So what you have right now is not a burden, it's not a curse, it's not a mistake, they are a blessing. And I want you to really be proud of that truth. And once you change your mind towards thinking about that, there's a lot of things that could be changed. May mga pagkakataon, iniisip mo na yung taong dapat magmamahal sa'yo, medyo mahihirap ang mahalin ka dahil sa mga anak mo. Totoo yun. I mean, that could be true. But you know what? It also goes to show that you're able to shortlist people right away. This you stop wasting time. Minsan nga, fewer options are better than having plenty of options. Diba? Like, one of the disasters of being an HR in a big company is that when they post a job for hire, oh my God, there's a lot of people to shortlist. So, ikaw, bilang isang nanay, bilang isang single mom, tagain mo lang. You'll be able to be with a person that deserves you and deserves your kid. Kung sakaling hindi man dumating yung araw na yon, huwag kang manghihinayang. Kasi that journey that you have right now, if ever you are not in that specific place where you can make yourself happy, you can be able to know how to be alone first, at least you now have the self-awareness to do so. Complete that journey. Understand. And me, Real Talk Darbs, is so proud of you as a single mom. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga nanood, nakinig, at sumubaybay. Kung gusto mo ng Self-Worth Gang hoodie, go ahead. It's available for pre-order. I will be putting the link on the description above later on. And of course, have a support system in times of a heartbreak. Yan, join RTD Fam FB group, my friends. And ito po yung sinasabi ko na become an RTD pledger. At kung sakaling na-miss mo man tong Facebook Live na to, you can always revisit this at Wisdom Bars with Real Talk Darbs podcast later on. Thank you very much. This has been Real Talk Darbs. Always giving you real thoughts through real talk. Always remember, self-worth lang po tayo since day one. This has been Real Talk Darbs. Yalla, bye.